Well, to continue tonight's theme on cutting costs, the actual process of finding savings is an important one.
And tonight we're joined by Stuart Michael from Expense Reduction Analysts to give us more detail on how to go about trimming the fat. Welcome to the program.
Thanks.
So tell me, how important is expense reduction to a business's success?
Well, I think it's absolutely central. If you think about any small business, they've got to generate $1 of net profit, they're probably going to make between $10 and $15 of sales. The alternative is to reduce their costs and their overheads by $1. That will fall straight to the bottom line.
And how much of savings can a business expect to achieve when they go through an analysis of their expenses?
Well, we've done 14,000 assignments for clients so far, and we've averaged 19.7% across all categories of expense. There are some high and there are some lower. In a particularly regulated world like the insurance world, we'd probably only achieve savings of 12 to 15% per annum. But in other parts of the company's overhead base, it's not unsurprising for us to find 40, 50% savings on things like print, certain telco, office supplies and even factory consumables.
Which ones do you think are the ones that you can make the most saving on?
It's difficult to say which ones will make the most savings on. It's about controlling those expenses. It's about understanding how we incur those costs, and I think it's a very broad bandwidth.
Okay, list off for me some of the expenses that are typically reviewed in a business.
Well, we'll review the overheads. The owners of the business, they're the experts. They're going to be looking at the cost of sales line in the business. We take that same expertise and apply it to the below-the-line costs. So we look at, again, printing, stationery, office supplies, insurance. Often a small business owner won't even know that they can make savings in that sort of area.
Now, are there any pitfalls for a business owner that they should avoid when they're looking at their expenses? Obviously, they don't want to cut too far and they don't want to lose essential services. So what are some of the pitfalls they should look out for?
I think the first thing we say, don't slash and burn. Slash and burn is very bad for business. Even in times of hardship that we're about to face during this coming recession. We say, don't cut key staff, don't cut marketing. You need market share today, and if you cut key staff as well, you won't have the team there to deliver to the standard your customers are going to demand from you both now and in the future. So the other thing is that we try and say to people, talk to your suppliers. They know they've got challenges of their own, but they're going to be able to help you. So if you just keep inside the confines of your own office, then you're not going to know how they can help you, but how you can help them as well.
So is this about taking a cooperative approach then? Are you looking at actually working with your suppliers and potentially, I guess, also with your customers as far as costs go?
Definitely work with our suppliers. What we need to do is to make sure that we don't just inherit legacy arrangements with them, though. We want to make sure that the arrangements are at the market. We as a company, we would look at service levels with each one of the suppliers. We wouldn't just tell them to cut cost. They've got to make a profit, we've got to make a profit. We've got to understand the dynamic of that relationship.
And how long does the process take? Is this something where a small business owner needs to put aside a certain period of time every week, and should they be looking that this is going to perhaps take 6 or 12 months to implement?
It's a very good question. We can get, when something comes up for renewal, there are certain categories of expense, like insurance, where a saving can be made absolutely immediately upon the renewal. But what we will do is we will look at, and we'll encourage our clients to look at their expenses on a much longer-term basis. Our partners out in the field working with their clients will tend to work with the client for between 12 and 18 months to make sure that any savings are both secured and have come to the bottom line.
Okay. But does cost-cutting mean doing without potentially in your business?
It does. It means doing without conspicuous consumption. If you're looking to put a new marble fountain in your reception area, then I think that that's probably going to go out the window at the moment. But in reality, operationally, undertaking a cost management exercise with all our clients, we look at the service levels and we look at the price. The only thing that should change is the price, which means that a cost management regime properly implemented is going to generate more working capital to the business, particularly in times of recession.
Well, as a small business owner myself, I can tell you that one of the keys is getting staff on board to these cost-cutting regimes. How can you get their support? Because it is so crucial to making it a success.
As a small business owner, you'll know that it's all about leadership. This is a top-down and bottom-up challenge for us all. We need to get our staff fully enjoined in the whole discussion. We need to lead, we need to take action, and we need to be involved with that cost management process. Our staff will follow our good lead and our good example, and in following it, they're going to secure the future for the business and also for their own jobs.
Now, business owners are experts in their own business, but not necessarily in cost cutting. So at what point should they go out and look for outside assistance?
Now would be a very good time. Our philosophy is, why spend $1 more today that you don't need to spend? There are some caveats to that. No knee-jerk reactions again. This is a strategic decision to implement a cost management structure. And we would say to people, just beware, listening to the news earlier on today, just beware people who hold themselves out as impartial. You need to have impartiality when you're looking at expenses. Some of our own suppliers will be paying commissions to independent consultants. Our consultancy and none of the professional consultancy firms will do anything other than act in an entirely open, transparent and independent way.
How do you achieve that, though? How do you make sure they're open and transparent?
Well, we pursue a process to make sure that we explain to all our suppliers, all our client suppliers, how we operate, that they work on a level playing field with one another. They have to respond to what the client's requirements are, and they have to respond to tenders in an absolutely flat and even way.
All right, what's your final tips there for SMEs? What are the things they should be thinking of?
Understand where you spend your money now. Look at it hard.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Thanks for being on the program.